one reason why what happened to Brandon Brooks Sunday has been the speed so well. It was the fifth time in his 8-year career that the Eagles guard had to leave or miss a game because of anxiety-related issues. Today, Brooks talked about it for the first time.
For coming to you today, basically my live reaction to the top 25 playoff rankings. I'm going to be coming up here in a few minutes at 6:54, 6 minutes to receive the rankings, or the show will come out. During that time between now and 6 minutes, I do want to go over my top 25 real quick. Let me turn this down so you guys can hear me say my top 25 right here. I want to go over my top 25 for week 14 here. We'll start from number 1. I have LSU number 1, Ohio State number 2, Clemson number 3, Georgia number 4, Alabama number 5, number 6 I have Minnesota, number 7 I have Utah, number 8 I have Oklahoma, number 9 I have Florida. Rounding out the top 10 I have Michigan, number 11 I have Baylor, number 12 Penn State, number 13 Oregon, number 14 Notre Dame, number 15 Boise State, number 16 Wisconsin, number 17 Iowa, number 17 Iowa, number 18, number 22 Oklahoma State, number 23 Virginia Tech, number 24 USC, and number 25 Navy. That is my top 25 for week 14 here for Rivalry Week. Hit the thumbs up button if you're fired about Rivalry Week. Probably one of the best weeks in college football. You're going to see some very good football, I think, this week. Predictions will be out tomorrow for 20 games. I still have to do previews on Cincinnati, Memphis, and the Belmont Bowl between Oklahoma State. Wow, USC. Yeah, they're a top 25 team. Their season's over outside the bowl game. They're 8-4. That win over Utah is a big win. But this week, I'm fine with USC in the top 25 and this week 23, 24, 25. Because I think they deserve it. I really do. So okay with USC in the top 25 as of now. I dropped a team that didn't do anything bad last week, but I had to drop Air Force because of the head-to-head with Navy with the 2 losses. That's why I had to drop Air Force. I also had to drop SMU. I had to drop them at 21. And that's it, I believe. I kept everybody else, I believe. Yep, I kept everybody else. A few teams moved around. Some reasons why some of these teams moved around is because of strength of schedule, how I feel about each team at this time. But overall, I do think that I have a pretty good top 25 right now. So we'll see how they're maybe. He's on USC. He is their best wideout, so he'll probably get drafted. I mean, he's the Bill and Nickoff finalist award. He's one of the finalists for that, so he probably will end up getting drafted. My phone's lagging. I have Oregon at 13. I dropped them from 6 to 13 in my poll. And Penn State, I have them at 12. I dropped them. No, I don't want to edit this. I have Penn State at 12, and I dropped them from 10. I dropped them 2 spots. This is my top 25, not the rankings. But that's my top 25. Be some weather affecting some of these games here because I know Saturday where I live in Maryland, the Carnival wintry mix last time I checked. So I'm gonna check the forecast right now. So give me a second. Because I know in the Midwest it's supposed to snow a lot. I know like in Nebraska, I'm looking at right now, Nebraska's getting a blizzard right now. Let's see. Tuesday night. Nebraska, Northern Iowa, Minnesota. I would wager Virginia's or Virginia's not in the top 25. I don't think Virginia should be in the top 25. I think Navy's just a tick better than them. I will pick Navy over Virginia as of right now. But I did do a preview on that game because that game is an ACC Coastal Division Championship on the line and a appearance in the ACC Championship. So there is a preview on that game up on the McD Sports School YouTube channel. So I'm just seeing something Wednesday. It's supposed to rain here Wednesday. It's 7 o'clock. And I don't want to see this Greg McCoy crap. I want to see something else. Hold on. Let's see. Saying rain for the most part. Yeah, like for instance, I don't know where the Penn State game is, but as of right now, Penn State the stream's lagging a bit. I can see it. Here's the thing, I don't know why. And it should be fine. Is making our way through a season. In its great wins and hard moments, and some hard moments, and some losses, there's an answer we all seek to know, and all want to find. What's our place? How do we measure? Where do we stand? Much goes into that economy, and now starts the reckoning. The strength of the schedule, the power of the conference, the quality of the. Who the heck is that white guy next to Reese Davis? I'm a little bit behind you, so I haven't seen it yet. Who the heck is that white guy next to Reese Davis? Are we in? Now see it.
Not yet. No one did yet. Earlier today, the selection committee finishing up their work for the rankings this week. One more Tuesday after this one, and then selection day. Not the rankings are final. So much to on rivalry week championship.
That's Greg McElroy.
Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway, and Greg McElroy joining us tonight. First three will be along.
I don't know why they put Joey Galloway and Jesse Palmer on the show. I really don't. Those guys are idiots. They're pure idiots. And Mark Rogers, who works at ESPN, I told him, I flat out told him those guys are idiots.
But it could impact the strength of record, schedule, resume for Utah. In fact, they played in Utah that wins. The Oregon falls that far and will affect the Big 12 a lot. Now, we expect Oklahoma to move up, but if all 8 spots, then Baylor also moves up. So, if we're talking about strength of record, strength of schedule moving forward, last week we're talking about the Big 12 was on the outside looking in because the Pac-12 was sitting in a really good spot. Now, Oregon losing, you would think eliminates Oregon, but it also puts the Big 12 back in play. If Oklahoma plays Oklahoma State this week, which was 21 last week, if they can beat them and then beat Baylor, who could possibly move up, Oklahoma sitting in a spot for the Navy strike. I'm excited to see who's number one. I'm really kind of excited.
LSU should be number one. I don't care about Ohio State being Penn State. LSU has the better resume. On paper.
Best possible home field advantage. Number two, whoever goes into the conference championship game is number one. Gives themselves the best chance to stay in the top four.
We also have some MAC action going tonight. And some MAC football. I know one of the games kicked off.
No, what Eagles would be more taking, right? No, I already get that started here.
Yeah, Ohio Akron already kicked off. It's 17-3. Ohio over Akron, or in the second quarter.
I think we can all agree that the top five are going to be the same from last week, with Alabama still there at 5 for now. I can't wait to see what Utah's doing. You think up at 6. Oklahoma is doing.
I have Minnesota at 6. I think Minnesota's better than Utah. I will pick Minnesota over Utah.
But what about Minnesota? Minnesota, a huge game this week with Wisconsin. There's still maybe a very strong case that Minnesota could control its own destiny with Wisconsin.
If Minnesota wins out, they're definitely in the playoffs. It's that simple.
This week is game day gets ready to head up to Minneapolis. You know, I've been on record.
Like top 25 so far, I would not spoil. Okay, good. Don't spoil it in the chat. Here we go. 25 is Appalachian State, 24 Virginia Tech, 23 Iowa State, 22 USC, 21 Oklahoma State. I still don't like Iowa State in the top 25. I think there's a few teams like Navy, who should be in there over Iowa State, Air Force. But I don't like Iowa State in that top 25. Let's see. 20 Boise State, 19 Cincinnati, 18 Memphis, 17 Iowa, 16 Notre Dame. I think they have Notre Dame a tick too low. I still think Boise State is the best group of 5 team. I think Boise State is your best group of 5 team. That's just my opinion, though.
Notre Dame sitting at 16 on the Big Ten team in Iowa at 17.
15 Auburn, 14 Oregon, 13 Michigan, 12 Wisconsin, 11 Florida. That is not good for the Pac-12. I dropped them down to 13. They even dropped them down worse than I had them. I'm telling you, that again, 12 Wisconsin, 11 Florida. That is not good for the Pac-12. I dropped them down to 13. They even dropped them down worse than I had them. I'm telling you, that is not good if you're Utah. Michigan at 13. I think they would tick too low in Michigan, even though I think they're going to lose this weekend. I think they're a bit high on Wisconsin, as I said last week. Florida, I'm fine with Florida at 11. See, Penn State at 10. They moved them down 2 spots like I did. Let's see.
Yeah, I just go back to the first initial rankings. This committee threw a curveball for
breaking news: Stephen Volk signed with the Diamondbacks. Catcher Stephen Volk with the in that Major League Baseball signed with the Diamondbacks on a 1-year deal, 2-time All-Star. Okay, who's 9? 9's Baylor. They moved Baylor up 5 spots. Well, I think they're overreacting over Baylor. I don't think Baylor is a team that would beat most of these top 10 teams. I don't even have Baylor in my top 10. I disagree with that.
Their wins against Oklahoma State and Iowa State are looking better now for Baylor. So I agree. It's a bit of a market.
I don't have Virginia Tech review game at top 25. The ACC scars. Well, Virginia Tech's 24, and Virginia Tech's in my top 25. Hold on. How you doing, Mahim? Minnesota's 8. I think Minnesota's the 6th best team in the country. I think USC does deserve it to be in the top 25 this week. Last week I said no. This week I'm fine with them in the top 25. A tick too high, maybe, but I'm fine with them in the top 25. Minnesota at 8. I kind of disagree with that. I think they should be higher. I really do. I think Minnesota should be 6. We'll see. Who's 7? Utah at 7? No, Oklahoma at 7.
Yeah, and not a surprise.
Oklahoma at 7. I mean, Oklahoma's a top 10 team, but I don't trust them. I really do not trust Oklahoma one bit. Pin me on the top 25. And basketball, the top 5. If it was basketball, absolutely. I still have SMU in the top 25 along with the Air Force. I take Air Force out because of a head-to-head. SMU should not be in the top 25. You have 7 group of 5 teams. I mean, in my top 25, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5. May has 4. So you have SMU and the Air Force. I think Rutgers is number 1. Number 1 worst team in the Power 5 is Rutgers, and they only ain't too far behind there. The Air Force is 9-2. I even thought paying Louisiana. I know Air Force is 9-2, but Navy's 9-2, and they have the head-to-head. That's why I had dropped them in my top 25.
To move Oklahoma past, eventually past Utah into that 4 spot.
I am stunned that they moved Baylor up that much. You have Navy in there as well. Oh, here we go.
And at number 1,
They pay Ohio State. I disagree with that. I absolutely disagree with that. LSU has a better resume than Ohio State. I'm sorry. There's going to have to be a rant on that. That is bad. Okay, Ohio State, they beat Penn State. They beat, Penn State. And who else did they beat outside Penn State? What, they beat Indiana? I have a problem with it. Their resume is coming up Ohio State. LSU is probably number 2. There is no way Ohio State should be number 1. I disagree with that. LSU is number 2. I think Clemson's going to be number 3. Indiana, Wisconsin, and Penn State are the only 3 wins, really, that Ohio State has. LSU, if you want to hear their wins, include Alabama, Florida, Auburn. They went ahead and beat Texas. They beat a Georgia Southern team that beat Appalachian State. I just think LSU has a better resume if you stack up the wins. Clemson's 3. Ohio State's paying the committee. I'm not gonna go there. I just think it's. I disagree. What? Yeah, Clemson's 3, Tiger Raven, but Ohio State's 1. Eli, I'll get to your top 25 here in a second. Georgia's 4. I think it's going to be Bama 5 and Utah 6. I have some major disagreements. Because Minnesota has a better resume than Oklahoma. I mean, not better Oklahoma. Yeah, Minnesota does have a better resume than Oklahoma. They have a better resume than Utah. I mean, I disagree. LSU should be number 1. I agree. LSU has a better resume. Alabama's 5. That will make Utah 6. Okay. I disagree with 1 and 2. I think that needs to be flip-flopped. I think Utah should be 7. Utah's resume, their best, their 1 loss is against a top 25 team. But Utah's best win, if you look at the schedule, their best win, let me pull it up. Their best win, Utah's best win, maybe Arizona State is their best win now. It's not a good win. That should not be your best win. Other teams. And if you look at Minnesota, they beat Penn State. That alone should put them ahead of Utah. I disagree with how high they moved up Baylor. call me crazy if I can't get over the how they blew a 28-3 lead, but Baylor, I mean, they're not throwing out any of their opponents. I think they moved them up too high. Penn State, I'm fine with them moving them down too because I have moved them down too. I mean, I really don't understand these rankings at all. I just don't think Ohio State should be number one. I really don't. I think they're overrating, underrating some teams. For example, I think they're overrating Wisconsin some. I think they're overrating Auburn. I think they're also underrating a few teams. I think they're underrating Notre Dame a bit. I think they're underrating Michigan. App State fell because Virginia Tech beat North Carolina, which App State did too, but since they're a Power 5 team, that's really the only reason why. App State in my rankings is number 20. LSU has a much better resume than Ohio State. I don't care about the strength of schedule nonsense. You cannot tell me, putting those resumes on blind resume, you cannot tell me that LSU's resume is worse than Ohio State's. I think that's crap.
We haven't seen them put an entire game together, whereas with Ohio State, we've seen them be absolutely dominant every single week. And the only reason why their team was somewhat questioned last week was because of self-inflicted mistakes. So I guess the question,
How many more times could
Okay, let's read Eli's top 25. Number 1 LSU, 2 Ohio State, 3 Clemson. I agree with your top 5. I think Minnesota should be. I really think Minnesota's the 6th best team in the country. I'm buying into this Minnesota team. 7 Utah, 8 You're ranking Memphis way too high. 9 Minnesota, 10 Baylor, 11 Penn State, 12 Florida, 13 Auburn, 14 Oregon. I think you're overrating Auburn by a lot. 15 Wisconsin, 16 Michigan, 17 Appalachian State. You overrate Appalachian State a bit too much. 18 Notre Dame. You're underranking them. 19 Iowa. 20 Cincinnati. 21 Boise State. You're underranking Boise State. 22 Oklahoma State. 23 Navy. 24 SMU. 25 Air Force. That is true. Auburn did beat Oregon, but I mean, they have 3 losses. Auburn, or is it 4 losses now? Oregon only has 2. OSU should be number 1. Eli, Memphis too high. Eli, I'm gonna be honest with you. That polls Memphis is extremely way too high. They overrated Clemson number 1 in 2017. That is true. Personally, I don't like this whole committee thing. However, if you want a 14 playoff, do it by the AP poll. That's my thing. Do it by the AP poll, because you cannot tell me. Like, Ohio State might look like the better team if you're watching them with the eye test, but LSU. I'm hearing what Kirby says. Yeah, okay. And this is more going wins than Clemson. Well, here's the difference. Let's look at Memphis's resume then. If you really want to do that, we'll do it. Memphis and Clemson. We'll do it because I guarantee you Clemson will have a better resume. Or if they don't, it's group of 5. No, 2019 schedule, not 2020 schedule. Memphis wins. Those are group of 5 teams. Okay, here we go. Let's start with Memphis. Let's see. They beat Ole Miss, not a bowl team. They beat Southern Jet. They beat Southern. Southern 7-4. Are they going to be in the playoffs? Southern? Are they in the FCS playoffs?
A little bit more impressive than what Oklahoma did, but now Oklahoma has an opportunity to have a win late in the season versus a higher ranked opponent. So the jostling back and forth, I think, got a lot closer.
I don't think they're in the playoffs.
Based on these rankings. Let me ask you, who's the better team?
One.
Who's the better team?
At South Alabama. 1. Navy. Good win. 3. UL Monroe. Still has a shot at bowl game. 2. Temple. 3. Tulane. Tulane has 6 wins. Yep. Okay. 3. Actually, no. Temple. I gotta take that one out. Redo it. 1, 1, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3. Okay. 1 and is South Florida bowl eligible still? No, they are not bowl eligible. So 17 minus 3. They have a score of 14. Clemson. I have their resume right here. Clemson. 1, 3, 1. Charlotte's bowl eligible. 3. North Carolina has a shot. 2. Florida State bowl eligible. Louisville still has a shot. Boston College. Do they still have a shot? Yes, they do. 2. Warford. What's their record? 8-3. They might have a shot at the playoffs. They are in the playoffs. 2. Okay. NC State's a bad team. Wake Forest bowl eligible team. 23. A score between 23 and 14. Clemson is clearly better resume wise than Memphis. What is my scoring method? My scoring method is this, based off quality wins. If you are and this is how I do it. If you are a team like Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, LSU, a team that could contend for a national championship, if you beat them, I give you a score of 5 for that win. If a team that you beat is a New Year's Six bowl contender, let's say like a Oregon, I'm trying to think of teams. Penn State, a team like that. If you beat them, I'm giving you a score of 4. If you beat a team that's bowl eligible but won't get into a New Year's Six bowl but is still bowl eligible, I'm giving you a score of 3 for that win. If you beat a team that's like 5-6 right now, I'm giving you a score for 2. I'm giving you a score for 2 for that one. If you beat a team that is not going to be bowl eligible this year, like let's say you beat Maryland, I'm giving you a 1 point for that win. With losses, if you lose to a team, and it's like vice versa, if you lose to a national championship contender, I'm only deducting 1 point from your score. New Year's Six bowl contender, 2 points. The team that's going to be in a bowl game, 3 points. Win the edge, like a 5-6 team right now. 4 points if you lose to a team like Maryland that's already out. 5 points. That's the scoring system. Now, Clemson's undefeated. So I gave them a score of 23 based on their wins and losses. Memphis, they have 1 loss. It's to Temple. They got -3 for that loss, which gives them they had 17 with the wins, a score of 17, which is a score, and then they lost to Temple. They're going to be in a bowl game. That's a score of -3, and then so that gives them a score of 14. Even if Memphis did win that game, it would have been 24-20 Clemson. Memphis would have been close if they hadn't lost to Temple. It would have been kind of close, but Clemson clearly a better resume than Memphis. Okay, Raptor 2.0. Let's see your scoring method. Your top 25. 1 LSU, 2 Ohio State, 3 Clemson, 4 Georgia, 5 Bama, 6 Utah, 7 Minnesota, 8 Oklahoma, 9 Florida, 10 Baylor, 11 Penn State. You forgot number 12. So what we'll do, and since you have 2 teams tied at 25, I'll make USC 24 and Navy 25. 13 Wisconsin, 14 Oregon, 15 Michigan, 16 Notre Dame, 17 Boise State, 18 Auburn, 19 Cincinnati, 20 Memphis, 21 Iowa, 22 Oklahoma State. I think you're on the ranking Iowa some. 23 Virginia Tech, 24 App State, 25 tied between USC and Navy. Where's Michigan? You want to make Michigan 12? We'll make Michigan 12. After 2.0. You've got number 12. We'll say that's Michigan. But yeah, that's how I do my rankings. They are 15. You forgot whoever number 12 is. After 2.0. Trying to think of which team you forgot to throw in there accidentally. I think that's horse shit. You start with a clean sheet each week. I think that's horse shit. I'm okay with your top 25 after 2.0. I think you're on the ranking Iowa some. That's what I did once I saw you forgotten up at 12. That's what I did. I do think you're on the ranking Iowa some. I think you're overrating Wisconsin a little bit. I really think Wisconsin is getting overrated. Top 25 does not matter in basketball. All it is a feel-good thing. But if your guys are 8-0 and have actually maybe a few quality wins, then yeah, you guys should be top 25. I'm going to do a blind resume between LSU and Ohio State. See who has a stronger schedule. So let me do that. We'll do LSU first. Georgia Southern, they're bowl eligible. Yeah, they're bowl eligible. That's 3. What's Northwestern? Terrible. Okay. 1. 1. Utah State. Yeah, 3. 4. 2. 4. Actually, Auburn's a 3. 5. 1. 1. LSU has a score of 27. Ohio State has a score of 3, 4, 3. Miami of Ohio, are they going to be bowl eligible this year? Yes. 3. 2, 3, 1. I don't think Wisconsin's making a New Year's Six bowl at this point. 3, 1, 1, 4. So as of right now, Ohio State does have a better score than LSU, but that's because Ohio State beat Miami of Ohio, which LSU would have beat, and they beat FAU, which Ohio State would have beaten. So I personally think that I don't care about the score on that. LSU should be the number 1 team. First of all, they're in the better conference for starters. So I really think LSU should be the number 1 team. Also, Cincinnati his owner in Memphis because Memphis lost versus Cincinnati. Yeah, but Memphis scored 28 points in their loss, and they only lost by 2. Cincinnati, they went ahead, got shut out. I don't care who you got shut out by. They got shut out. Radford is their best win. Radford was in the tournament a year or 2 ago, so that's not a bad win. That is true. That is true. But I think Minnesota's going to win this weekend. So I should make Wisconsin a 4 then. So instead of 28-27, then that makes it 29-27. Good point, Eli. But still, Ohio State only has a better resume because of FAU and Miami of Ohio. So maybe, I mean, LSU, they have 2 threes, and Cincinnati, that's really the only reason Ohio State's better than LSU if you rank wins and losses, because LSU play at FCS school for the 4th non-con instead of a pretty good group of 5 team, and Ohio State only has 3 non-cons. LSU has 4 non-cons. Would Alabama be 4 or 5? Alabama's a 5. Alabama's a 5. I will pick Minnesota over Utah. I would. I think Minnesota's better. Let's do that blind resume. Get it up here. Minnesota, Ohio, Minnesota, Utah. Let's do that blind resume.
The other thing that stood out is when he did talk about Alabama and Reese, great question.
I forgot what I left in the comments, but I think Minnesota wins 20. Yeah, that's what you said, Rats 2.0. You said Minnesota would go ahead and beat Wisconsin. It'll be a great game, but I will go Minnesota against Utah. Let's see the blind resume, though. South Dakota State, they're in the playoffs, I'm sure. Let me check. They gotta be in the playoffs. Yep.
It just doesn't feel like that right now.
They're 8-4 in the. See, this is why I can't have the 32-team playoff, because you have 8 and 4 teams in the playoffs. Really? Anyways, 2. Fresno State, are they 5 and 6? 4 and 7. So that's a 1. That's a 1. Georgia Southern's a 3. Purdue is a 1. Illinois is a 3. Nebraska's a 2. Rutgers is a 1. Maryland is a 1. Penn State, I think, is a 4. Iowa's a 3. Northwestern's a 1. So 22 for the score of Minnesota. I think Utah has a better one, but we'll see. BYU's a 3. 1 for NIU. This Idaho State, that's a 1. USC is a 3. USC. And I forgot to subtract from Minnesota, so 22 minus 3, 19. Actually, let me just hold on.
I'm a tailgate. You get to my tailgate. Now, it might not get me there fast, but hey, gets me ready for football. Let's tailgate. I can't go anywhere. When you're so busy watching me tailgate, that you don't see the one in front of you. Your company car insurance, they might not pay for this. Forget all state. I'd be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Okay, I have to say something. With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day, not just on airline purchases. Just think about the miles you can earn on things like gifts.
Should I continue?
No, I want to hear this. Or a rental test.
Actually, Minnesota has a score of 16. My fault.
Holy matrimony! That's a lot.
Man. Utah has a score of, let's see, 3, 1, 1, 2.
Holiday shopping is stressful.
Oregon
So
State
is assembling all the things you
for 5 and 6. That's going to be a 2.
great deals on Cyber Monday. You may need an extra set of hands when it's time to put
That's a
everything together
3.
or hang that new flash
What's
face.
Cal?
Let me tell you about it.
Calson, that's a 3.
Called Tackle. Tackle provides free price.
Washington's in, that's a
All your sales.
Washington 6 and 5. Wait, yeah, that's a 3.
Holiday season by downloading the Tackle app today. We're reported from
And then UCLA, that's a 1. And then Arizona, that's a 1 as well. -3. So Utah barely edges out Minnesota on strength of wins. Minnesota versus Utah would be a great night. I'm not going to do the blind resume test until it's final if Utah and Oklahoma are 12 and 1. 16-team playoffs bad too. You'll get a good 8. You'll get an 8 and 4 team in there as well probably. I think there's a 10-team playoff. If new community choose top 25 to get by. I think 8's a perfect number. The conference needs I feel like where's the point? I don't think championships should be automatic bids. What is the playoffs or LSU, Utah, Minnesota? That will be a very interesting playoff. If you're into 16, automatic bid will be.
Star Wars is epic. It's my life.
I don't think they should make it 16 games. I really don't. I think that'll be really bad. If anything, you'll get a bunch of 10 and 2 teams in there. I mean, there is not 16 teams that year in and year out that should go ahead and win national championship. Some years it's not even 4. The reason why I do automatic bids in basketball is because of the smaller conferences. Do you really think a MAC team, like, for instance, the best MAC team I think is going to have... Do you really think a MAC team, like, for instance, the best MAC team I think is going to be a 9-win team? You think a 9-4 MAC team should get into the playoffs? Because they'll get blown out of the building in the first round. Like, do you really want that? I also think that, well, let me share an interesting fact. Every game in the first round since the playoff era 2014, with the exception of 2 games, have been blowouts, basically. Just keep that in mind for when you want to expand all these playoffs and everything to 16 teams or whatever. Just keep that in mind. I'm fine with 8. But if a group of 5 team gets an automatic bid, because sometimes you see these group of 5 teams, if a group of 5 team gets an automatic bid, because sometimes you see these group of 5 teams, you see like Western Michigan get the bid. So I personally think that or even maybe 2 bids, like maybe say. Okay, 2 bids for a group of 5 teams. First bid is only between the American and Mountain West, and then the second bid is between the Conference USA, the Sun Belt, and the MAC at 7 and 8, and have 6 Power 5 teams again. I'm fine with that as well. I do watch March Madness. Yeah, but March Madness is different. There's over 350 teams. I think it's like 353 is the number. So you have to have a bigger poll, and they're basketball games. I mean, they're not like football games. Football games are demanding on the players. That's why, and you only have 130 teams. I mean, think about it. 68 divided by 353. Yeah, that's only about 20%. 8 divided by 130. Yeah, you might make the argument that's only 6% of all teams. But, I mean, football is more demanding. It's a very physical, rough sport. That's why you cannot have these 16, 32-team playoffs. I just don't think they're possible. I think you expand it to 8. And you keep it at that.
I'm looking at Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. And so Oklahoma's had 20 points in the past couple of weeks. They only scored 6 last week. Oklahoma a couple times with the Baylor team.
Yeah, I understand that, but I mean, 1 versus 16 would be a blowout every year. 2 versus 15 would be a blowout every year. You realize these teams don't prepare for each other, so like they'll have like 2-3 weeks. 3 versus 14 would be a blowout every year. 4 versus 13 would be a blowout. 5 versus 12 might be a blowout. I'm just telling you, every matchup in the first round, with the exception of 2 of them, the Rose Bowl and between Georgia and Oklahoma. I forget the other one. I want to say it was another game involving Clemson. I have to look that up, but every other game has been at least a 2-touchdown game.
Tua was playing. I really like the way Sark called their game against Western Carolina. They were aggressive. Jones only threw a lot of shots downfield. It wasn't training wheels like what
Man, that's a good question, Eli. That really is. I think Boise State's better than Appalachian State. I know Appalachian State, yeah, they're going to have a win against North Carolina, South Carolina, but Boise State, they have the best Power 5 win between those 2 teams. App State would have not beaten Notre Dame last year. That's ridiculous. But I'm telling you, this 1 through 16 stuff is not going to work. You can make it 8, and 1 versus 8 and 2 versus 7 will be blowouts just about every year as well. So that's just my opinion. We'll see what happens, but I just really think overall 16 is absurd. And 32 is really absurd. I mean, hell, 10 versus 23 will be a blowout every year if it was 32.
Where do they play your semifinal game? And obviously, we joked about it, but it's also pretty serious, avoiding punches on those semifinals. I think that's the biggest thing. Because if you look at those 3 teams, there's only one team with championship pedigree, and that is the one in the playoff.
That's my opinion. I'm going to stay only for another few minutes, and then I'm going to get off. I believe in upsets in sports. It happens all the time. It does happen all the time, but that's also another argument. Do you want an upset for a team? Like, let's say number 1 gets upset by number 16. Clearly, number 16 is not the best team because it ranks 16. I'm fine with 8. That's the highest I'm willing to go. If you want 2 teams in from the group of 5, have it like one between the American and Mountain West, and the other one between the Conference USA, Sun Belt, MAC. I'm fine with that, but that's the highest I'm willing to go. It was so great. It was great, but the difference is that's basketball. Basketball, I'm telling you, basketball is a lot different than football physically. You would kill to see number 1 go down to number 16. It will never happen in football. You'll get a blowout game 49-10 every game. I'm just telling you the truth. But overall, the rankings, not the best. I just think they could have been better. I disagree with the top 2 spots. I still don't think Iowa State should be in there. I think they have a few teams that they overranked or underranked. And but that's in every top 25. I mean, 2 people share the top 25, and I told them, yeah, this team a bit underranked, this team a bit overranked. It is what it is. That's all I really have. I'm going to try to get both previews out before 10 o'clock here. That I still need to do. And tomorrow's going to be pick day, of course. We're going to be picking college football games and NFL games tomorrow. No video Thursday. Friday is going to be Friday Night Lights at 11 p.m. Saturday, just coming in throughout the day, recapping some of these games, basically. But anyways, thanks for watching. McD the Beast here, signing off.
This season, as we are